Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the very first edition of Talking Walking Football with me, Tony Harris, otherwise known as the Cat, and my great friend Hassan Hassan, otherwise known as the Turkish Motormouth. Good evening, Hassan.
Good evening, Tony.
Now, here we are on a very first start of an adventure. It's going to be rough and ready, but the idea is that we're going to talk about walking football, how it affects us here in East Sussex, and each week we're going to invite on another person from a different club. So it'll be Mick Elliott from Hastings next week. But this week, it's just going to be me and Hassan just chewing the fat. So here's a question for you, Hassan. I want to take you back to your childhood. When did you first start playing football? Were you playing in the park, in the street? What were you doing?
In the street, in the street.
Yeah, it's what jumpers for.
Jumpers for goalposts.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Were there lots of lads that turned out for these little street games?
Yes, and the neighbour, the man from his house used to run out when the ball went through his window. And we all used to run.
Exactly. We used to play in a lane behind my house, and it was a
Yeah,
very narrow lane. And at each end of a sort of 100-yard strip was a lamppost. So that was one goal post, and
yeah,
they
yeah,
put a
yeah.
jumper down for the other one. And if the ball hit a garage behind, it was a steel door and it did not rattle. And there was a fellow called Mr. James, and he was a miserable old git. And if the ball hit his garage, he used to come steaming out. So it's a
Mm.
shared experience, even though you were doing this where in East London somewhere.
South East London in
Yeah,
Greenwich.
yeah. And I was doing it in Wales, and it's exactly the same, kids. Now, here's another question for you. Now, I didn't start playing football as a little boy. I was about 9 or 10, and England were in the World Cup in Mexico. This is 1970. And my dad bought me an England tracksuit top. Do you remember those blue tops with the stripes down the arm? And I had one of
No,
those. Did you
you
have
had
any
one of those.
kit
Well,
at
I
all?
was a poor boy from a poor family. We had nothing
Did you have any kit at all, or are you just playing in your normal clothes?
in our normal clothes and plimsolls.
Yeah, plimsolls. Yeah,
We were poor boy, poor
we
boy.
we didn't have fancy trainers or anything else, did we? So when's the
No,
first time you
plimsoll.
actually played in a team? Would it be when you were at school or after
11.
school? Yeah. And
I
what was this, a
played in the
school team?
school, primary school, we played football, but I played for my secondary school football team and a Sunday league team.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah, as soon
there's,
as I went to secondary school, I was playing football for the
yeah.
school.
Were you any good? This is the question. Were you any good?
I was a left back.
Yeah.
I was one of 11. I wasn't the substitute. I was actually in the team, yeah. So, was I any good? I wasn't the best, and I wasn't the worst. I was good at cross country, so I was good at running, and I was good at tackling. And yeah, I mean, I thought we all dreamt of being a footballer.
Yeah. And who were your football idols at that time?
Well, my friend's idol was Jeff Hurst, and as I used to have Leeds United as my team back in the 70s,
No way.
and yeah, and the team I loved was Dirty Dirty Leeds, Bite Your Legs Hunter and Sniffer Clark and well, Don Revie was a character in himself, but the whole team was full of assassins. Yeah,
I
it's
used to
good.
think they were
Billy Bremner.
fairies. Don't you remember they had these little sock tags? And
Yes, with
Don
their
Revy
numbers on
had
it.
them before each game. They would come out onto the pitch and stand on the halfway line and revolve around waving to the crowd. Don't you remember they started that?
All right. Well, I remember the team: Gary Sprake and Paul Madeley and Paul Reaney and Terry Cooper and Billy Bremner and Jackie Charlton and Norman Bucky Legs Hunter and Peter Lorimer, who had a fantastic shot, and Sniffer Clark and Mick Jones, who used to do the old arms round and round, and Johnny Giles and Eddie Gray on the wing. I mean, that was a fantastic team. Most probably the best team I remember over the years. I know QPR had a good team with Stan Bowles and There was flamboyant players like Tony Curry and from Sheffield United. There was some good players around in them days in the 70s. Chelsea
But
had a really good
how did a
team,
London boy end up supporting Leeds United? That's what I don't understand.
but everyone supported Chelsea. That's why. And I wanted to be the opposite of everyone else. I support the underdog.
But Leeds
Yeah.
were never the underdogs, were they? They were like the top team. I remember there was the FA
Maybe in the
Cup
70s
final,
they were.
FA Cup final with a replay against Chelsea, 2 games.
Yeah, but then in 1974, we played Sunderland and Ian Porterfield scored a goal and the underdogs beat us.
I think you'll find that that was
Bob Stoker.
1973, Hassan Hassan.
It may well have been
1973.
73, 74. Like we can check that. Maybe it was 74. Maybe it was
It was
73. You could be right.
definitely 73 because that was the first proper cup final that I remember watching. And it was so exciting because Sunderland won. Do you remember the goalkeeper's name? Sunderland goalkeeper?
Well, was it Bob Stoker? Jim
Yes,
Montgomery.
it was. Jim
Don't you
Montgomery.
take the mickey out of me, you.
And he
What's
had
with
he
him?
made a fantastic double save. Do you remember?
Yes, he did.
And
Yes,
at
he
the
did.
end of the
Like Gordon
match,
Banks.
Bob Stoker ran the length of the
Mhm.
pitch to hug him
Yeah,
first when they won. It
yeah.
was extraordinary times, extraordinary times.
Well,
Now,
it wasn't a happy day for me.
did you collect
Yes,
SO coins or football cards that you got with
cards
filling
with
them?
bubble gums
Yeah,
with the players on it. Yeah,
yes. And I
yeah, I
also
used to do
had
that.
from that time, the Sun used to give away pictures in the paper, and I had an album, and I've still got it somewhere, the Sun Book of Football, and it had all the players from the first division. And as you went down the divisions, there was two pictures for the second, one picture for the third division, and then nothing for the fourth division. And you had to collect the stickers and put them in the book. I've still got that book somewhere. Still got that book.
Yeah,
Did
it's
you swap
amazing.
cards in the playground?
Um, it's so long ago now. I don't think I can remember. I'm sure we did
Yeah.
swap cards with my players that I wanted and swapped them for players that that they were favourites for
Yeah.
them.
Okay,
But
so there's the start of it all. How did you get involved in walking football? I met you on my first uh, debut at the Cage in Alexandra Park. I met you that night. But how did you get involved with walking football? I was driving past and saw the old men playing.
yeah, I was playing tennis with a friend. And as I walked past the cage, I had a recent bereavement and lost my wife to cancer. And I looked in and I said, "Can I play?" And they said, "Yeah, come along, you can play. It's walking football." Or it wasn't even walking football, it was just football. I don't think it was walking football then when I started. I think it was all guns blazing what I saw of it.
But who
Yeah.
was from the crowd that we play with now? Who was in that cage that first time that you went?
Paul Reardon, Paul Hutton, Phil Aspinall. Um, there was a guy called Paul, Scouser Paul. There was
Oh
Jimmy the
yeah,
Window
yeah, yeah,
Cleaner.
yeah. The tall man.
Fagan, Paul Fagan, his name is. That's it.
Yes. And some of
Yeah.
these people kind of never graduated from the cage to play in the teams when the clubs were formed,
Yeah.
did they? He was one
That's,
of
that's,
those. I remember
yeah.
once he backheeled a ball into the goal against me, and I wasn't expecting it, and he scored. And the rest of the evening, he tried it again 5 or 6 times, backheeling it when I wasn't expecting it. But of course, I was wise to his trick then, so I saved them all. But he did score that first one. So from the cage, clubs were formed, and the clubs were Hastings, Bexhill, Eastbourne, Battle. All these clubs came together. Um, Hastings United should have been your club, but you ended up going to Bexhill. And one of the other lads, who sadly is no longer with us, Phil Birmingham, he was like one of the people. They came to the inaugural meeting of Hastings United and then didn't join the club. So there was a lot of early friction, wasn't there, which we've kind of got over now. Do you ever regret not coming on board with Hastings?
Fully loaded motor mouth, eh? I actually still feel a part of the Hastings setup and got lots and lots of friends there. And I don't like to look back into things with a negative narrative. I actually started off in Hastings with you, Tony, in a tournament over at the Hangar, and there was lots of times I wanted to play. I'd had an ankle injury, and I was expecting my friend Tony to stump up for me and say, "Hassan can come on now for 5 minutes," but no, you didn't say a thing. And like,
Yeah, but hang on. When you did come on, before the referee blew the whistle to kick
you
off,
remembered, you
you kicked
remembered.
it straight and it hit Phil Aspinall in the kidneys. I'll never forget it.
It was a rocket shot.
Yes, I'd forgotten about that. I'd forgotten
I think
about the
he took
hanger.
me straight off for that.
I'd forgotten about the hanger. So,
I don't think he's forgotten.
how long do you think it was in between you packing up for? I'll tell you my story, then you tell me yours. So, the last competitive game I played, I was 35 years old. I'd always played in goal, never played anywhere else. And we got beaten 13-2 against a younger team. And I literally went home that night and put my boots and my socks and my jersey and my shorts in the wash basket, and they never came out. They were just, they were thrown away because I thought, that's it, me done. And so I sat on the couch shouting at Match of the Day for the best part of 25, 26, 27 years. Did you do anything in between packing up sort of running football and joining the walking football?
Well, I didn't play between my 20s and 30s when most young people do. I'd had a young family and was working lots of hours, but I started to play for with friends in the park. And then when I was 40, my second marriage had ended or begun, and I was playing for the bus garage team. So we were having tournament teams. Actually, no, before that, I was playing for the Milkmen, the Unigate Milkmen, against the Bromley Police. Yeah, in a Sunday league, which was quite fun. Yeah, but the bus driving team was good. And then when I moved to Hastings when I was 50, I was playing for the bus garage team there and playing running football at the time when I was
Age
50.
50, you were still playing running football at 50.
Yes, I could
Wow.
run then, but
Wow.
now dramatically things have changed.
Yeah, well, of course, of course. I mean, yeah, everyone says that, you've got a lot of skill, but you're very, very slow, slower than a lot of the 50-year-olds now that are running about when we're playing. Because there are some very, very fit men involved in all this. Um, do you
I
think
think
that kicking and walking football helps with your mental health? Do you think that's a thing?
absolutely. I think that, Bobby Moore wasn't possessed with great pace, but he had it all up here like me. And he used to know where to position himself and where to be to make blocks and pass that ball and move the ball around. The art and the beauty of walking football is like a chess game. It's like pass, move, and open up the other team. You don't have to have the best players in the world, but you have to have people that can play together, who know what the other one's going to do, and that you can open up other teams like a can of worms.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there are so many levels to it. So you've been involved now as a kickabout player. You've been involved as a player in teams, and now you help run a team, the Little Common Wanderers. That's your outfit, isn't it? What sort of stresses are there for people that are, running a team of fellas, the organization of it? It must be really hard.
Well, it's enormous because the players are still not grown up and they want to play. And if you drop them, they threaten to beat you up and they get really cross. And it's not much fun being a manager. You sort of played down my role, but my role is quite involved with two teams, the 50s and the 60s. And we, Little Common Wanderers and Alpha Strollers, have played more players than anybody else has. That means we've given opportunities to people to live their dream and be a part of a team. And not necessarily to win the league, because we have another team, which is the elite team, where they steal the players that I brought to the club or they've moved on to. So it's a two-tier thing, but it's supposed to be fun. And I feel that we've lost a little bit of the fun with the competitive football and the league games because it's so stressful. And it's easing a bit now as you've been doing it for a few years, but it still gets stressful. We've recently had a match where a player got sent off and he's been banned for life, and I'm not allowed to go into that one now. But this is walking football for guys in their 60s, and they're doing what they do in their 20s.
Yeah. I mean, that is a thing, isn't it? That, perhaps even as you get older, you never lose that competitive spirit. You never lose the will to win. But I'll tell you something, there are more players who enjoy the training and the kickabout than there are actually playing the teams. I think if you did the numbers, it would be maybe 25% of the people involved playing teams and playing the league, and 75% of them can give a monkeys. They'd rather just have a kickabout at the training sessions. Do you go along with that?
Yes, of course. I think I remember bringing a team over from Hastings to Bexhill, and we would go with our friends, and we'd all go, Ali, yourself, and me, and we'd go over there and go to give them a good bashing and put our team out against them. But they'd separate us because we were the heathens and the loud. We were the second-class citizens coming over from Hastings, really.
Noisy neighbours.
The noisy neighbours, they called us, yeah. I think they called us some more than that, but as the years have gone on, we're all friends, both sides of the camp and Eastbourne and all over. There's a big rapport of walking football. It's grown immensely over the past few years.
Oh, yeah, I think statistically, it is the fastest growing sport in Britain, without shadow of a doubt. And I mean, you've played overseas. I've never kicked a ball overseas, but you've played overseas as well, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, we went to France, and I'm sure Ornay tournament, we scored the winner, but they disallowed it for running. And then there was a penalty shootout, and me and Peter had the ball in our hands, waiting to take our penalties. And apparently, because it's only 5-a-side, there's only 3 penalty takers. So our Yugoslav international star player stepped up and took his penalty, and the goalkeeper saved it. And I was devastated. And then Alan Osman, another England player, stepped up, and his was saved as well. And we were out. We lost on penalties in the final. I mean, we beat everyone. We beat the team before we got to the final, and it didn't seem fair. And we scored the winner in extra time. And they're still going on about when the match started, I was actually substitute because I was in the loo because I was nervous. They said Hassan had crapped himself.
Typical of you, isn't it, to miss the start? But yeah, so I think that it's one of the best things I've ever done in my life. I mean, I do a job where I'm entertaining people on a daily basis and everything else. But playing football with all these lads, there's become a community around it. And this community becomes very important to you. If you have an issue or a problem or you need some help, whether it's car mechanics, which you're an excellent exponent of, or whether it's, someone's feeling down or whatever, there's always someone who pick up the mantle and run with it. I think it's incredible, the brotherhood that we've established. I think it's really important as we get older, isn't it?
Yes, it is, but we've just lost one of our own in Phil Birmingham, and
Yeah.
that we can go back to a night I drove over to Ringmer with him, and he was referee and I was a substitute, but I had a top on underneath my top, and he proceeded to give me a red card, and I wasn't even playing, and he chased
Yeah.
me all the way down the pitch to give me
Yes,
a
but
red
you
card.
did because you went on the pitch. You went on the pitch to celebrate a goal, and he
No, no,
legitimately
he
sent you off.
disallowed the goal. He disallowed the goal, and he was going to send my player off, and he disallowed the goal, which I felt was not right, and I called some choice names out towards the referee, which I don't regret because he was my friend, and I was very frustrated. And I'll say it again: what a load of bollocks! And I said it 4 times. And he ran after me and gave me a red card. And I don't know where I was supposed to go because the bar was closed and it wasn't a professional game of football. It was walking football that we were
No,
paid millions for.
it's obviously losing Phil is a big blow, but isn't it amazing actually? Because I've been doing this now, I think 7, 8 years. So you must have been doing it 8, 9 years because you were playing a bit
Yeah.
before me. And from memory, how many have we lost? We've lost three, haven't we? We've lost three players. Captain Dave,
Captain Dave, yeah.
and then Ian, the cake
Kate Man,
man.
Ian Lambert, yeah.
Yeah. And Phil, those are the only three that I can think of. There was one poor man that came to one session and went home and had a heart attack and died or something, wasn't there?
Yeah,
But
but we didn't know him.
no, nobody
Yeah,
knew
I can't
him,
even remember his
sadly.
name. I mean, the French goalkeeper died this year as well, went to sleep, Laurent Blanc. Laurent Blanc, his name's not Blanc, Laurent Saint Pierre, a great French national goalkeeper, done enormous things in France for walking football and the expats and English teams going over to France. But sadly, he's passed away, and that's going to be a big miss.
Mm.
And
I
that's
mean,
the problem we've got at our age is people will die.
yeah, yeah. But maybe the people that you want to die don't. They cling on, don't they?
Well, I don't want anyone not to die or not to die. So I don't like being called Motormouth, by the way. I think we should change my name to something else.
Because nicknames are very important in this, isn't it? And
Well, I don't
nobody
think I'm as
calls you
loud
that
as I
now.
was.
But when we were
No.
first dishing out nicknames, because you were always giving it this, the
I was,
Turkish
yeah.
Motormouth was a great name for you. Do you remember
But
what
I've mellowed
Mehdi's
out.
nickname? Do you remember what Mehdi's nickname was?
Assassin. What was Phil's nickname?
Phil Birmingham, Stumpy. There's a burglar in your
Yeah,
house. I can see a
definitely.
burglar in a hoodie.
Yeah, the hoodie in the background there. I think he's played walking football as well with his granddad.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah,
Well, look,
all
there
my
we are.
grandchildren have.
I think because you're being burgled, we'll leave it there. I think it's a great start. And when we come back with next week, we will have Mick Elliott, the player manager of Hastings United, 50s and 60s, and he'll tell us how he did it and his story. And each week we'll invite new people and we'll find out how they began their football life, their memories from playing when they were kids, and we'll get to the bottom of all the nicknames and everything else. So,
So
from
we've got
me, Tony Harris, it's good
the
night.
cat,
And yeah, the cat, yes, not
the
because
cat
I'm
that drank
agile.
all the milk.
Let me just say, no, it's not because I'm agile. It's just because I can sleep anywhere. That's why they call me the cat.
No, because you like to drink the milk, and the cat that caught the cream.
Yes, I do like milk. All right. Anyway, from me, Tony Harris, it's good night. And from Hassan, it's good night also.
Au revoir.
And thank you for watching. And we'll be back with another issue of Talking Walking Football very soon. Good night, everyone.
Cheers. Good night.